Call the meeting to order. You can rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We are missing board member Baker today. She's traveling for work, so she will not be with us. Nobody to address the board today. Okay. Can I get a motion and a second for approval of the minutes from November 1st meeting, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those minutes are approved. Can I get a motion and a second for approval of the agenda, please?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved. We have no conflicts of interest today. Can I get a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The consent agenda is approved. And we'll start with our adult education and literacy program update. I'm going to ask, is your mic on? Is the green light on? Right on the base.
Yeah.
Yep.
That work?
Oh, much
there we
better.
go.
Ta-da.
Okay. All right. So the next couple slides are just some demographics so you guys can see who our students are. So the first chart up there is the ethnic makeup of our students and then also the gender. And then looking at the age of our students and the employment status, you can see that the majority of our students are working age individuals between 18 and 44 years of age. And that last year, 62% of our students came to us already employed. Much like the Sioux Falls School District, we have a very diverse student population, and these are just some countries that some of our students have come from in the past. Okay, so these next couple slides relate to performance. So each year, the state and OCTAE, the Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education, get together and negotiate performance targets for the adult ed programs in the state to strive to meet. So looking at this chart, this is all students. So to be considered a student in our program, you need to have a pre-test and have attended a minimum of 12 hours. So this is all students that have met those parameters. And this is just the performance. The green is Southeast Tech's performance. The blue is the state overall. And then the yellow is the target that we were set to strive to meet. And then the second chart is of those students who persist with us. So they have a minimum of 40 to 60 hours of instruction and they have post-tested. So we can compare their pre-test and their post-test to see if our instruction is effective. So again, Southeast Tech's performance is the green bar and the state's performance is the blue bar. So, as we all know, COVID changed the way that we offer instruction. So we started a distance ed program to try to help meet the needs of our students while we weren't allowed to be on campus in person. That program has grown, and now about half of our students are in person and half of them have chosen to do distance ed. We work with 3 different vendors to provide programs for our students to use to improve skills. Burlington English provides our ESL program. Essential Education provides our basic skill development and our GED prep program. And then Kentucky Education offers a GED prep program, but it is much more rigorous than perhaps what students need to be successful to pass the GED. So we use that program for individuals who are with us to brush up on skills, to sit for the TEAS test, which is an entrance test that some of our healthcare programs use out at Southeast Tech. And then also those students that may want that college plus credit kind of score on the GED. And this is another graph similar to the past 2, but this is only our distance education students. So those students that have 51% or more of their hours in distance education. Again, just our performance. Green is Southeast Tech, blue is where the state's distance ed program sits, and then yellow is that overall target. We have worked over the years to develop partnerships with different agencies and employers within the area. We work closely with the Department of Labor and Regulation here, their local office. They staff our office at our site twice a month to meet with our students who may need that support looking for employment. And then we also go out to Department of Labor twice a month at their Stroll Sioux Falls event, where we can meet with employers and share what we have to offer, perhaps their employees, and then also meet with those job seekers that are coming in who may benefit from our services. We, of course, work pretty well with Southeast Technical College. We offer the ELA 092-093 class, which is a class for those students who don't have the entrance scores to qualify to get right into a credit-bearing English class. And then we also refer students to admissions who may be interested in going on to a post-secondary institution. And then the admissions also refers back to us if students need a little extra help before they're ready to be successful in post-secondary. And the foundation has graciously and generously purchased some GED test vouchers for our students, because sometimes that $50 for a sub-test can really be a financial burden to them. So that has been a great thing for our students. We work with the St. Francis House in offering GED prep on site. Students or guests of the St. Francis House, of course, have the opportunity to come out to Southeast Tech if they would rather do in person. We offer classes at Smithfield 2 afternoons a week to their employees. And we are just starting to work with MB and Dismiss Charities and hoping that we can bring some GED classes to the guests that they serve. We are a 100% grant-funded program. We receive federal funds through the Adult Education and Family Literacy Act, as well as state general funds. And those are filtered through the State Department of Labor and Regulation. So our students are never charged to use our services. It is 100% free to the students. And finally, looking at our staffing, our staff consists of 4 full-time employees. Each of us kind of has our own little niche that we work with. And then we have 2 part-time staff who basically sub and then maybe do some special projects where we need a little extra help. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Do you have any questions for me?
How many kids do you have transitioned from your program to Southeast?
It's,
I'm sorry, adults.
oh, that's okay. They're kids to me too. I would say it's not, we primarily see mostly ESL students. So those that are truly at a GED level when they come to us is not many. A handful or two handfuls a year, perhaps, transition.
What about the Smithfield or St. Francis House? Like, how many folks are you averaging between?
At St. Francis House, right now, we don't have anybody who's currently using our services. And then out at Smithfield, we have 6 who are attending faithfully.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think sometimes part of it is just making people aware of the services that are available. And so I like that you have these partnerships, and it's kind of like a you scratch my back and then I'll scratch yours. You know, like we'll come to your location and we'll do our thing with your people and their kind of home place, and then hopefully you can come to ours and you can work with our students and where they're comfortable. And so bringing services to where people are already at, I think, is a really great model to improve the use of that. I'm just looking at your, like, the measurable skill gains, and I mean, on almost every single one, Southeast Tech is really so successful in comparison to the state levels. And so it's just a testament to the work that the staff is doing and the investment that the students have in themselves as well. And so hopefully that continues to bring in the grant funding when you can show that you're, you know, really making those gains and making a difference to these populations that these skills and education are really so important for. So great work to your team overall. Very good presentation for us.
All right. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? No? All right. Can I get a motion and a second to acknowledge the Adult Education and Literacy Program update?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That is acknowledged. Thank you.
Good afternoon, President Ryder and members of the board. I'm Jason Merritt, the Dean of Trades at Southeast Tech. I have here Luke Senst, who is the director of the Eat Well project here in Sioux Falls, and Marcella Kokup, who's our director of Access and Workforce. And hopefully between the three of us, we can answer questions that you have. I'm going to start out and let Luke just talk a little bit about what Eat Well is, and we'll go from there.
So Eat Well Sioux Falls Mobile Market is a mobile grocery store trying to fight some of the food insecurity that we have within our neighborhoods in Sioux Falls. Currently 60,000 people in Sioux Falls itself live in food deserts that have been identified by the city of Sioux Falls. Within our grant, we have some city grant funding that we received to start this program. The program itself is aimed mostly to these areas, but we are able to utilize the resources that we have in different areas that might need it, such as Southeast Tech. Southeast Tech is not technically in a food desert. It is about, I think, 100 yards from where we would be parking to the food desert, so we are very close in that area. We also know that there's a lot of college kids that are going to be utilizing this service, so it's going to be really great for that. We are underneath the Sioux Falls Thrive umbrella currently. So you guys are already aware of what Sioux Falls Thrive is doing. So we are just more or less another part of their programming right now, trying to help out feed as many people as possible. I do have some flyers here with some more information. I don't know if I can just hand them to you or whatnot, but I'll give them to you here in just a minute. But we are really looking at bringing the healthy, affordable groceries right to the people where they are, just to try to feed as many people as we can.
I think you have to say, Your Honor, may I approach? No.
Thank you.
And next I'm going to have Marcella talk a little bit about our students on our campus and how this would help them.
Good afternoon. So we have a variety of ways that we try to serve some of these needs on campus currently. We have a food pantry, and that main food pantry is located in our Mickelson Center building. In our ARC, our Academic Resource Center, there is also a smaller food shelf that is available for students to come. All of it is free. It comes in through a variety of different donor sources. We do fundraisers on campus, or I should say can raisers on campus, where students bring in items. Sometimes a department will have an event. Recently, medical assisting had an event, and for admission to the event, they charged a can of food or a non-perishable item. So sources come in different ways, and then students have a variety of options to be able to get those things. During the fall, the Student Government Association does a food drive and a supplies drive. They call it a laundry basket drive. People can donate a laundry basket, they can fill it with food, they can fill it with toiletries, they can fill it with hygienic items, or whatever it is that they feel called to put in there that can be given to students. Last year, we had 70 of those laundry baskets with food and different items go out to students. The previous couple of years, we had about 50. When students come into the food pantry, whether it's in the ARC or whether it's in the Mickelson Center, there isn't a tracking system where students have to log, this is what I took, this is the day that I took it. You know, one of the things that we want to ensure is that students can just feel comfortable coming and taking stuff without there being a lot of hoopla around it. I think that that is something that students know is there for them, but sometimes, as an example, this semester I had a student come to me and say, you know, I could really use some food from the pantry. I don't want to go get it myself. Will you come with me? So we went together, we got a box. Her car was not at our building, it was at a different building, so she brought the box to my office until she could get her car, then she came and got her car and took the box. Our director of the ARC has said that she's had students say similar things. I would like to come get food, but I feel a little bit embarrassed about it. So we're just wanting to be aware of this need. We don't necessarily know numbers of students that are being served by all of the items that we offer, but we know that there is a need. And so having the opportunity to provide the mobile food market will provide us with not just those canned items, but now with perishable items. There's meats, there's breads, there's cheeses, there's fresh produce. And that's not something that we're able to provide with the pantry setups that we have currently. So it'll be a good opportunity in that regard for students to have a little bit more variety in nutrition in their diet.
I think I'd like to mention also this is not the same as a pantry in that these are items that are sold. They do have a help with that so that the prices are very affordable, but there's a side that also says that might be good too for some people as opposed to the pantry kind of thing where they'd be purchasing the items through here. And so I guess how I got involved with the Dean of Trades, what would you have to do with any of that? I guess our welding people were looking at helping fix a step on their trailer. And they said this might be good for the school, and so I got involved. I pulled Marcella, I pulled our security so we could figure out where it could fit in our parking lot and how traffic would flow. And I also talked with the student organization people because we think this could integrate with some of our student organizations. So we already know with Student Senate and some of their things, but possibly even with horticulture. Maybe they can provide some of the produce. We have a garden. We could even do some indoor thing with hydroponics or things like that. So I think this could be a good situation for all. You can see here one side of the trailer here. It's a 38-foot trailer. There's even some household items. Breadsmith bread, so it's the best bread you're going to get in town, and it's a very good pricing on all of it as well. Milk, eggs, all kinds of stuff. You can't believe how much they can fit in that little trailer.
I'm trying to fit more.
Yeah, he's always looking for ways to fit more. So the proposed visits would be once a week, Wednesdays, 11:30 to 12:30. It hits our campus really well because a lot of classes are ending, a lot are beginning in those things. We do have space where we can do that. This, we do believe we can manage any traffic flow that would come this way. Students and staff primarily. It's also open to the general public and people can come and go. And we will manage that as we see. If it gets bigger, we'll find ways to do that. I think that was everything that we had to present, and we welcome any questions if you have any questions.
Is there already going to be expansions happening? Luke, you guys are getting called everywhere.
So right now, we have 6 locations currently throughout the city of Sioux Falls. We're at the City Health Department downtown. We are at Active Generations on 46th Street. We are at Habitat Restore and then Word of Life Church. And then tomorrow we are actually at the Furniture Mission Warehouse along with Banquet West. So them are our current stops. We didn't add any in the month of December just because the busyness of the holiday season. We know that we want to kind of start off in January again with adding more sites. You guys would be the one of our next sites that we are looking to expand to. We are looking in areas throughout the community that are going to be really the places that really need us. So we keep on looking at the data that we've received from surveys, different things like that, so we can really go to the best places in Sioux Falls that people need us to be. We are looking at 12th and Qantas area. One of the reasons why we got this grant funding is because of that big box store closing. So we're going to see about trying to be in that neighborhood as well. Hopefully in January, and then there's another one like 12th and Grange area. And then we'll be adding more in February and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and if anybody hasn't seen this in person, it's quite incredible, and I'm really excited to see what it's going to do for Sioux Falls and what it already has done. It's amazing.
How will students be told about this new opportunity?
I'm sorry.
How will students be notified of this opportunity, aside from seeing the big truck in the parking lot? How will they know what it is?
It is a big billboard.
Like, yeah. We're going to utilize amongst our campus the resources that we have to do that. Email, posters hanging. That's where we think we can get our student organizations involved, get them to kind of sponsor it. We think that also both students and faculty and staff might volunteer to come work this shift here, a way of kind of being connected to it. Seems to be a lot of resources to be able to do that.
One other thing that we have done in neighborhoods that we go to, we have the ability, depending on the neighborhood and the foot traffic that we get, we can provide gifts, more or less coupons for people so they could get $5 off. That's something that I brought up to Jason that I'll be providing, so that way when people come back in January, they would be able to, get that as an incentive to come in.
That's awesome.
And he also has gift cards, so we may be able to have a student have a gift card, like their parents can give them a gift card and they know what they're getting here. You know, if I had a student going to school here, I might give them a couple $100.
Yeah.
And do you, because it is a purchase that you're making, do you take cash, credit card? How do people pay?
We are card only,
Card only.
So we accept more or less every form that Square or any other retailer would take. We use a Square machine, so that's why I bring that up. And then we also are able to take EBT. So anyone that has EBT, we were able to start that in November. We are looking at utilizing WIC in the future as well. Just going through that process right now. So we're really trying to expand and help as many people. We are cashless, so if they do only have cash, that's something that we'll kind of evaluate as the need is.
And starting then in January.
January 8th would be our initial date, I believe.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, very exciting for the community of Southeast Tech, obviously, but like you mentioned, even some of the apartments or other housing that are around there will hopefully find a benefit in being able to shop here as well. So thank you very much for adding a location outside of your designated area.
It's nice to fill a need that we have in our community, and I admire the welding people to kind of think of this as a possible solution for some of the students. So looking forward to the partnership.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the Eat Well Sioux Falls Mobile Market?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That is approved. Thank you. Next, we have the Department of Corrections Welding Cohort update.
That would be me as well. So,
Back.
The jack of all trades, really.
well, trades.
Trades, I know.
You
No
got it.
pun intended.
What you did there?
Yeah. All's in my job description. I just want to give a little update. We talked last year about the welding BOC cohort and kind of let you know how that's been going since. It is a collaboration between Southeast Tech, Department of Corrections, Department of Labor, and has been a very good collaboration. All three coming together was kind of a big deal, so we appreciate that. Scott talked to you last spring about some of the processes that they go to select candidates into this. They kind of use the term gate pass eligible, so these would be people out on work release and those kind of things. They also go through quite a process to determine nonviolent, non-sexual offender, kind of things like that as well. After they go through that pre-screening, they then interview for the position, so it's actually quite competitive. Scott says he's the man when he walks through. They all want to talk to him because this is a great program, and they work hard to get into it, just to get into it. So it's a semester-long certificate program, and they also take the American Welding Society certification from us because we are an accredited test facility for that as well. And that is kind of a big deal industry-wide as far as obtaining that certification. In fact, I can tell you we do quite well on that. We've been in the 80% pass rate of those with that group. Nationally, sometimes in the 50s, 60s at the most, of people who will obtain that. And I was quite proud that we actually moved to a harder certification for them. So they're doing what's called unlimited. So it actually opens up some of the things they can do. They certified on any width of steel and in any position of welding. So that's kind of neat. When we first started, we tried them in just the first easiest one, and then we felt we could do even more. So we did. Last year, 27 people went through that program. 22 of them obtained the AWS certification. There are 11 in the program right now in this semester, and they just took their certification test yesterday. All 11 will achieve a certificate in welding from school, but it looks like at least 9 of them are going to pass. I can't say for sure because they haven't done the last part of it. We'll be starting at least 15 in the spring. And the neatest thing about that, right now, today, 85% of the people who went through that program last year still employed in the industry and have not returned to prison under parole.
Wow.
And that is a big number.
Yeah.
In the field, working with our industry, of those 11, I think 9 of them are already have a job offer, ready to be employed. Employers are really excited about this program. In general, these are the classes that they take, which is kind of neat. They also take a mathematics because you really do need math for a number of these things, particularly fabrication. And so they take basically the wire welding from us is the largest portion of what they get out. We are having Friday a celebration of this in our commons area. There'll be a luncheon and then some presentations by Department of Corrections, Department of Labor, Dr. Griggs. If that interests you, there's the event information on that. You guys have any questions for me regarding that program?
Just a comment that I didn't know this existed. I obviously wasn't here last year. So this is incredible to learn about. Just curious if there's other supports with those folks as they're doing this program? Like if there's offerings to get them involved in the community or get them other resources, like if something like that exists?
Yeah, in fact, doing a community project or something civically engaged is actually part of what they do in
Awesome.
course this year. I think they built those benches or bike racks for it may have been the Bishop Dudley House or something like that. So there is that connection there. Any resources that our students have are available to them. So our art
Oh,
are
nice.
they are student to us, and that's one of the neat things that one of the people said when they spoke at one of our graduations. They said, "I was called a student," and that meant everything.
Hmm. I can imagine that connectivity is a big reason why we aren't seeing repeat offenders or folks just getting right into the workforce because they feel connected to something right out of incarceration. So that's incredible.
And there's lots of research about having a career as opposed to a job. I'll let Department of Corrections tell you guys all about that, and they can give you all that information. But yes, certainly seems to be a connection between this. I like the idea it's a holistic approach in that they're doing their integration as part of our student success class. And they're being taught that by one of their people. And then we have the math and the others, and it's kind of a good thing. They get a lot in one semester, I'll tell you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. A lot of kind of indirectly taught life skills, I think, too, when you're thinking about interacting with people in different ways. So, yeah, really a life-changing opportunity for many people who otherwise may have, finished their time and then come out to just look for, like you said, a job, where this is offering them a career that has a good paying wage, which hopefully will help them to have maybe some more stability in other areas of their life. So super important and a great impact to the students. And clearly with your 85%, they're proving that it's really being a positive impact to them, and they're taking advantage of the opportunity that they've been given. So nice. Anybody else? No? All right. Look forward to the graduation ceremony this week. Can I get a motion and a second for approval of the Department of Corrections welding cohort update?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That is approved. Next, we have the fall 2023 retention report.
Hello, President Ryder, Board. We are very happy to be here today to present to you the fall retention numbers. These are numbers from the 22-23 school year. So the way that retention is determined, and we go by the methodology that the Board of Technical Education has, is we look at the 10-day count from the previous fall, and then we take the students who graduated, and these are only students that are enrolled in a diploma, degree, or certificate program. No high school students, it's full and part-time students. We take that number, plus we add in the students who returned for this fall semester. And that's how we get our retention rate. So it does not include anyone who is not seeking a degree. So we are happy to say that as an institution, or as a system-wide system, the Board of Tech Ed schools increased from 78 to 81%. But I am pretty excited to say that Southeast Tech has increased by 5% since last year in our retention rate. So we went from a 75% retention rate to an 80% retention rate. I'll let Jackie talk about how did this happen?
Seems pretty
Kinda.
exciting.
To go along with the numbers, you do want to ask why, so that we can keep doing that. Or if it would go down, the opposite would be the case. And so just as a side note, the national benchmark for retention, because South Dakota tech colleges are actually above the average anyway. So it's like a 60 or 40% for part-time students and 60% nationwide for retention. So we're well above that, and we are mixing our part-time and full-time together. So what we wanted to look at next was why the increase. So we picked out some programs that saw significant increases between fall 22 and 23. So we looked at engineering, horticulture, accounting, vet tech, and a couple of others. And it was kind of short notice, so we didn't get a response with our form from all of those groups, but we did get enough information to see some correlations. And so we're just going to showcase the engineering program here and what did they think, and we'll come back to the attendance. I might have Christy speak to that one. But a new instructor from engineering said, well, you taught me in new teacher training and mentoring that we need to build relationships. So I took that to heart. I moved my desk from an office where my students are not at to right into the lab. Obviously, there are times when he does need to go to the office for privacy, but just that closeness of moving his desk made a big difference. The students were feeling more of that connection. A veteran instructor mentioned that they did a little course shifting and made sure that the courses that they had to have for adjunct instructors were more later in the curriculum, and that first core course, which is CAD drawing, was taught by full-time advisors. So they're, again, getting that connection, and so that advisor connection was very important there. Retention is everybody's job, so an excellent recruiter helps get people placed into the right program from the get-go. So they know, that recruiter knows the programs, is able to counsel students correctly. Encouraging an internship between years 1 and 2. And some of the other programs said shadowing experiences and internships are key. Get them in early, before the end of their program, so they could see the relevance of the coursework to what they're doing on a daily basis on the job. So they felt that that was a big bump for them. And then they just have a great industry involvement who don't snatch the people away before they graduate. So they're very supportive. So in engineering, civil went from 86 to 100%. Architectural went from 65 to 82. And mechanical from 68 to 83, and land survey science from 68 to 80, just in doing some of those things that they feel attributed to their retention. So lesson learned that for program health, having that full-time presence with advising and how you place your courses and that internship or shadowing experience is really important. And I'll let Christy just talk to the new attendance policy a little bit.
So in the fall of 2020, well, before we left for the pandemic in the spring of 2020, I addressed the faculty about an attendance policy at Southeast Tech. You know, if you're not there, you can't learn, you can't be successful. And so the faculty said, yes, let's go for it. And in the fall of 2020, we instituted an attendance policy where if students are absent in a class for 7 consecutive days, they go on to an attendance warning. They get an email and a letter from me saying, hey, what's going on? Here are the different resources that we have on campus. Please talk to us. We want to know how we can help you. After 14 days of no attendance and no contact, no coursework done in a course, they are withdrawn from the class. There is no refund for it. The students know about this right up front when they register for classes as a new student, so they know how important that transferable skill of showing up is to Southeast Tech. So this is, I think, part of our retention is seeing the fruits of this. Students really know that we are serious about it. You have to show up. I always say, I don't want to have the person working on my brakes who didn't show up for the brakes lab, right, Jason? So they understand that correlation a lot better.
And are there any questions we can answer for you?
Retention rates are great. It's good to see those numbers, and
It's huge.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, attendance is key to being successful. And as we have tried even in our high school students to try to get in job shadows and internships and just work experience in general, you know, everybody can watch a commercial or see a YouTube video or somebody in a movie doing a job, but you don't really know what that job entails until you actually set foot in that workplace. And so I do think that is really an indicator for people to say, how do I feel when I'm here? Is this something that I can see myself doing? And hopefully the answer is yes, and those are the people that are coming back. But if not, and it's after the first year, maybe they can redirect and, you know, they still stick around, but can choose something that's different. And so I do think that those experiences are really valuable to students, regardless of their age and what their experience is. They can all benefit from having that experience. So, yeah, very good, very impressive. Keep up the good work. It's exciting.
Just another non-agenda item, graduation Friday. If you are going to be at graduation, 4:30 at the convention center, we'll be lining up in rooms 11 through 13.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Can I get a motion and a second to approve or to acknowledge the fall 2023 retention report, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That is acknowledged.
Good afternoon, President Ryder. I just wanted to, again, like I often do, it seems, but that is an opportunity to say thank you to a lot of the individuals across campus. And we'll have a monthly meeting with all of our faculty and staff tomorrow afternoon, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do that. Dr. Valdez and I were at the State Tech Board meeting on Monday in Rapid City, where the State Tech Board announced the retention numbers. And I mean, those are hard. That's a hard number to achieve, an 80% retention rate fall to fall, and especially when 50% of our students are part-time, and so they are facing the realities of juggling jobs, families, and other challenges, in addition to quite difficult coursework at times. So congratulations to the whole campus, academics, student success, Marcella and the Access Workforce Opportunity, the ARC. It is an impressive operation right now, and we're so glad to see this, a lot of this all coming forward. So quick thank you there. And I also wanted to thank Ben Ringling from Horticulture for the poinsettias once again.
Yes.
So we appreciate all the help you guys provide, and so it's a small thank you. Lastly, I wanted to mention something that happened today. So today we had our pinning, and I think I left the nursing program for you, but it was our pinning ceremony for our LPN, our full-time day program, and our part-time evening program. So we had 50 graduates that were attending the event, 400 plus in the Hub Auditorium. And so, you know, our LPN and RN staff, our nursing faculty do a tremendous job, obviously educating, but it's a fun ceremony. In the middle of this ceremony, we had a very serious medical emergency. One of the family members of one of the graduates had a medical issue. And I have to say, we were so impressed. Benjamin and I were there, and to see that nursing staff jump in terms of how professional they were, how they took charge, made certain that individual was well cared for. I thought, gosh, what a perfect example of professionalism in terms of those faculty and how they helped. And each of them did different things. Obviously, kind of a scary event, but something that we were able to, after the paramedics and ambulance arrived, go forward with the pinning ceremony. But if you would, next time, if you run into Jackie Kramer, who's our Associate Dean of Nursing, and Kristen Paseo, who's our Dean of Health Services, and all of the nursing faculty really deserve a round of applause for how they handled a true crisis situation right in a very difficult time there. So again, lots going on, but as Christy and Jackie mentioned, with graduation, kind of the culmination here of our semester on Friday here, I think we'll all be excited to take a little bit of a break after that. So, so thank you.
Yep, thanks for the update. We have one last agenda item. We have the second reading of the policy. So last month we had brought forth a policy, JKSTC, the Student Conduct and Discipline, and it was some updates were made, and I don't believe, received any feedback on any of those changes. So today we just bring it back for second read. So if I can get a motion in a second to approve the second reading of that policy, please.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That policy is updated or adopted. Anything else? No? Are any of those nurses available to work tonight? I think there are many hospitals and clinics that would take them. So I hope that they do
Sure, they've
very
already been recruited.
Yes, I hope that they all do well on their tests and start on Monday if possible. So wonderful. Well, thank you so much. This is the end of our meeting. We won't see some of you guys again before the holidays. So thank you all for your time and your amazing work during this 2023, and hopefully 2024 is just as good or even better than we've had so far. So thank you guys very much. Can I get a motion and a second for adjournment, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.